Right, so there's my ceiling install. I'm going to turn on the lights, as you can see. There it is in all its glory. I've just installed it, or I finished installing at least the main part of the ceiling here. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It looks like the interior of a boat. And yeah, it's super nice. So yeah, it's actually a really difficult install. Well, at least I found it difficult. Needed lots of help to get it done. So yeah, I recorded most of the steps. I think pretty much all of them. I've still got the extrusions to put on the ceiling, which is good, what I'm going to attach my upper cabinets to. So I'll add that as well. I copied basically another YouTuber. I can't remember the name of it, Urban something. Anyway, I copied his install, so he gives quite a good amount of information there. But this will kind of give some added detail for anyone who's considering doing the same. So yeah, yeah. So here's the video. Okay, so these are the materials that I used. Firstly, the kind of ceiling panels, the plywood panels I bought from a company called Van Format, and then 3 panels and then 2 strips of bits of wood, thin strips of wood that connect the panels. And then also I bought the fabric from eBay. I think it was called Upholstering Furnishing Fabrics. It's about 135 centimeters in width. And also the close-cell foam that I used from a company called Point North. Again, not affiliated with any of these companies. I bought the 6mm thickness, 1 meter in width. And I also bought M6 plastic bolts. And that was the stuff that was mentioned in the, I think it was Urban Arc Explorer or something like that, YouTube channel that I saw. And yeah, also the insulation. So I bought the Thermaliner insulation, which I think is 15mm in width, and then the wool here, you can see cozy wool roll. Yeah, so they're kind of 5 centimeters width, and I used that and on the ceiling. So those are the materials that I used. In terms of attaching the panels to the ceiling of the van, I used M6 riv nuts, and I just put them into the bodywork of the van. I had to actually widen the holes with a countersinking drill bit, so that I could put the M6 riv nuts in, and then I just painted them with anti-rust paint. I also attached M5 riv nuts that were for the extrusions that I also attached to the ceiling as well. So if anyone's doing similar design to me with attaching these extrusions to the bodywork of the van to attach cabinets and whatnot, then that's what I did. And I just drew a line from this part here where I can see the crossbar starts to there, and did it's actually 6.9 centimeters here. So I'll drill holes there on each side, on every panel, and that'll be the hole so I can put my extrusion onto the ceiling. So it's a bit of a modification to these panels which I bought. Yeah, so that's the plan. I've been drilling holes here in the ceiling with a circular saw, and I did the distance around 80 centimeters between. So 2, 2, 2, so total 8 lights, and they're about 41.5 centimeters from the center, or 42 centimeters between each light. Between the middle of each light, it's around 42 centimeters. For the air vent, I placed the rear panel. Well, I installed the rear panel and then drew the where to cut with the pencil from the outside. So yeah, you get the idea. Okay, and if in case anyone else does the same as me, I used a 55mm circular saw on my electric drill to create the holes for my electric LED lights to put into the ceiling. But this millimeter is too small, sorry, so that it's very difficult to get them in. I'm just basically shaving it down. I'll do that for a while to get it down like a millimeter or a little bit less to get the lights to go in more easily. So after that, I measured and cut the close-cell foam to size, and attached that to the ceiling. For the insulation, the wool insulation, I just had to spray both sides with adhesive spray, and attach it, and obviously to spray the surface, do it outside, somewhere like on a step in the garden or something like that, so it doesn't go everywhere, and wear goggles, and then just spray it on both sides of the surface that you're attaching to and the surface of the insulation. Then I had to work on the tapestry, and so I attached close-cell foam, the 6mm close-cell foam that I bought, and then I obviously began trimming the foam off the edges and cutting out the necessary holes from the foam. And then same basically for the fabric. I had to cut the correct size of fabric and glue it and have enough to wrap it effectively around the edges, and then for the connecting kind of the cross member parts that I had there, I didn't actually use any close-cell foam on that because it would have been too thick. So yeah, for large parts I recommend getting some help. In terms of upholstering the fabric on the actual wooden boards there, the plywood, there's lots of angles and curved sections, so I recommend obviously cutting the excess sections into strips. You can see in the footage, it's kind of cut the stuff that the excess there that goes around the edge of the board or the edge of the wood there is cut into strips so that you can wrap it effectively around the sections, the curved sections and everything, without the fabric clumping. Okay, I'm in the process of putting up the ceiling panels with the fabric lining on and everything, but there's a bit of a problem. So the insulation that I've been putting up, it's quite thick, it dangles down a bit, and so it's quite difficult to get these things in place. I'm using these M6 plastic bolts here that I'll show you here. These M6 plastic bolts, I got first like 20mm ones, and I think these are 25-30mm plastic nuts, and there's nothing longer than that other than the 80mm that I got, and these are a bit too long. So obviously I've got to cut it, and that's what I've been doing. I'm going to cut them down to 5 centimeters long, and that should be enough. And I just basically use a sharp box cutter blade and just cut straight down as hard as I can through the plastic after measuring it 5 centimeters long. There's nothing, I couldn't find anything on eBay or Amazon between 20-30mm and 80mm, so I had to get the 80mm. And then obviously the lights were wired. There's lots of videos on YouTube on how to wire LED lights. In my case, I just attached the wires with a zip tie to the bodywork of the van, and then pulled through the connectors through the holes so that I can attach the LED lights afterwards. Yeah, so with this, if you have a Max Air fan like me, then the thing to do, there's a little wire that comes out. So when you install this frame, or this trim line if you like, you have to cut a little bit out to kind of let the wire through and feed the wire out, and here they are. So that's how you connect the fan, or keep the fan connectors available to connect to the fuse box and everything else. Here I'm going to have extrusions along the ceiling, which I'm attaching to the actual structure of the van, the metal cross member on the other side. And so I drilled an extra hole here, actually along the van here there are extra holes to attach this extrusion. Okay, and here I'm installing extrusions on the ceiling, but obviously because of this cross member here, it kind of creates a gap otherwise, so I've got to make these little strips. I've been making these strips of plywood and wrapping them in the fabric to match the ceiling, as you can see here. And I'll be doing that for the other extrusions I'll be putting on the ceiling here. So yeah. And here is the ceiling with the cabinets. I'll switch my lights off again. With the cabinets, or the extrusions that I'm going to use as a skeleton for the cabinets installed, attached to the ceiling, and it's very sturdy because of this extrusion I attached to the bodywork of the van. And yeah, and that's it. It looks pretty good so far. Hopefully it turns out well in the final build, or in the final, when everything's put in place. So that is that.